The fearful little spider. Spiders are not very popular. When we see a spider, our first impulse might be to squash it, or at least to throw it away as far as possible, because spiders are scary. And this is the story of just such a spider. The little spider had always lived in a dark, damp hole between piles of stones on the edge of a path in the woods. He spent all his time alone, trapped in 1,000 thoughts and fears. He rarely went out, not even during the day, because he was afraid of sunlight. But to tell the truth, he was even more afraid of meeting other creatures, of being stared at, and of feeling judged. He was most afraid of being looked at disparagingly because of his appearance. He was small and ugly. And then he felt weak and was afraid of not being able to do anything. He couldn't even weave a large spider's web. In fact, he had never even tried. And then he was scared of going into the woods. If he tried to jump from branch to branch, he would surely fall head first. If he tried to walk among the blades of grass, he would surely trip over his own legs. If he tried to climb the damp stones, he feared slipping into a puddle, and he didn't know how to swim. He was afraid of making a fool of himself. And then, of course, the other animals moved so quickly and carelessly, dislodging stones that would then roll or cause an avalanche of leaves. That made him afraid of not being seen and quite possibly getting squashed. Poor little spider, he was miserable, but his unhappiness came from his own mind, which was full of so many fears. But one day he made a big decision. He gathered all his courage, took a deep breath, and went out. He looked around. There was nobody there. Everything was quiet, so there was no reason for him to be scared. But then his little legs started to tremble. A drop of sweat ran down his forehead, and he found himself frozen with terror on a stone. Poor little spider, his fear had paralyzed him. From a distance, someone was approaching. A small silver butterfly fluttered above, looked at him, and, shaking her head, gently smiled at him before flying away. That smile warmed the spider's heart. No one had ever smiled at him before. A clumsy caterpillar creeping past him stared in surprise with a twinkle in his eye and then continued on his stroll. A twinkle in the eye can inspire affection and even give you a little confidence. A friendly lizard slipped out from between the stones, touched the spider with her tail, and with that gentle caress made the spider fall to the ground where he landed on the soft moss. That somersault was actually great fun, and that gentle touch filled the little spider with joy. 2 big eyes popped out from the moss. A small green frog stared at the spider and burst out laughing. But what was so funny? The frog approached the frightened spider, whispered a secret in his ear, and then quickly jumped away. Now even the little spider began to laugh out loud, wriggling his legs up into the air. How many friends surround us, and through their company, help us to face and overcome every fear. The spider already felt better. He had regained his self-confidence, and feeling happy, he began to build a large spider's web between the highest branches of a magnificent tree bathed in a glorious sunset. The little spider had spent a beautiful day out in the woods. He had made friends and had understood that being scared is normal, that everyone has their fears. But above all, thanks to the frog, he had discovered something: that everyone is scared of spiders.